I think we give some hope to the kids or to the parents. Before they just, get resigned to everything. That's the fate. But now they're looking forward to something bigger. They have dreams. That's what we like the kids to feel.
Young Living is growing, and part of that growth means that we look for opportunities to establish new farms around the world. And when we go into a location and we look to partner with the farm, we are looking for people who match our ideals when it comes to farming and when it comes to sourcing and harvesting plants and resources. We want to make sure that it's done in a sustainable way. We want to make sure that the local community is involved.
Before Young Living Essential Oils moved in officially to have the Philippines be an official market, they were a not-for-resale market, and that meant that there were products that were going into the Philippines, but it went pretty widespread pretty quick. And so it was just a natural thing for Young Living Essential Oils to say, let's make this a market. And because of the desire and the passion for natural products in the Philippines, we thought, well, let's see what farms can be available there as well.
Young Living was looking for a reputable source, someone that does things the right way for the Elemi essential oil. And in the Philippines, we came in contact with Madam ROSALINA and the Happy Pili farm that she's running there in the Philippines.
I think my first encounter with Young Living is through a friend of mine. I didn't know anything about Young Living. I just want to help the community, the farmers. Because when I was into the organic advocacy, one of the main advocacy is no waste. From the Pili tree, during my trips to the province, I noticed that they are not utilizing the whole tree. They just get the nut from the fruits and then discard everything.
And she is an amazing lady, and she has a great view of what the Pili tree can do in the Philippines. She's the one that's actually is establishing this incredible farm and being able to tell the story of how the Pili tree can be a source of economic gain for the people in the Philippines.
Here in the Bicol region, she's known as a Pili Queen because she has an organization supporting the Pili industry.
And so that's where the relationship started. The fact that members in Young Living that are in the Philippines know that there's a farm in the Philippines is a source of pride. And the fact that they can go and visit that farm, they can see the activities of the Young Living Foundation is something that's a full circle part of Young Living Essential Oils that, yeah, this is where we're getting the product that comes straight from the Philippines, as well as this is how we're helping the community, is something that I think the Philippine members really appreciate.
Once Young Living established the partner farm with the Happy Pili Tree Farm, we wanted to be able to find a way to give back to the local community. So we actually reached out to Rosalina and to the farm managers there and said, hey, is there anything nearby the farm that we can be able to work with and we can be able to come in and help?
When Rosalina was going out into the community that was surrounding the headquarters of the Happy Pili Tree Farm, she happened upon the school, which is the Alejandro Timanag School, and she noticed that it was in disrepair.
In my search for Pili trees around the Philippines, I came across this school, which I thought it was out of nowhere, in the middle of the field. So I got interested and I keep coming back because I see a lot of needs in the school.
The first time we went here, we noticed that a lot of the classrooms had been damaged by the recent typhoon.
Some of the kids were literally in a classroom that was just pillars of wood and no walls and a tin roof. So they basically were outside while they were trying to learn.
And we noticed that the kids are actually smaller than their average size for their age.
So I keep coming back to see how I can help.
The Alejandro T. Manaog Elementary School is located in Hacienda Salamat, that's in Cadlan, Pili, Camarines Sur. Camarines Sur is one of the provinces of Bicol, which is in the southern part of Luzon. It's located 3.5 kilometers away from Happy Pili Tree Farms.
The Bicol region in the Philippines is a beautiful area. Lush, green, open fields. It's got a beautiful mountain with a waterfall, beautiful weather, beautiful people, just a beautiful environment. The unfortunate part of the region is that it is prone to typhoons. A lot of typhoons just make their way through that region year after year. When a typhoon comes through, that is generally a region that gets hit hard.
After the typhoon, the school was heavily damaged. Roof had been blown off, and one of the buildings had collapsed already. So they had to use one classroom for 2 classes. That makes me keep coming back, how I can help, how I can help. When I first heard that Young Living has a foundation which is always helping the local community, I was a little bit, skeptical at first. I thought it's all business. But now I see there's heart in Young Living Foundation. They really go out of the way to help.
The D. Gary Young Living Foundation has been around for 10 years. Its inception into the world was in Chongon, Ecuador, which is the same area that Young Living Essential Oils has a farm. So when Gary went down to Ecuador to discover what beneficial oils they could add to Young Living, he established a farm, but he also set a precedence within Young Living that we're not just looking at the plants, we're not just looking at any possible products that we've been getting from this area. He set the precedence that we're also looking at the community.
When he was in Ecuador in 2007, he would drive past this dilapidated school building every single day. He didn't know it was a school building, but he saw children coming in and out of that building, and his curiosity kept on increasing to the point where he had to stop. And so one day he stopped to check it out and saw that it was indeed a school run down. He said that we need to do something. And so that's when he started building the Young Living Academy, and the doors opened for the Young Living Academy in 2009.
And since then, the students have gone from 40 all the way up to 350 students at the academy in Ecuador. They're going on to university, they're able to dream. And so from that, the foundation decided to branch out more internationally.
Empowerment is everything to us. We don't just want to give people a hand out, we want to give them a hand up. And we want to really see them thrive and become leaders of their own lives and in their own communities. And the best way that is done is through education. So each one of our organizations and partnerships that we work for implement education into that process, because education is a key to empowerment. When a natural disaster occurs in a developing country, we've seen that it's those living below the poverty line that are the most impacted. These people don't have insurance. They don't have a plan B. And so when they are impacted and when their home is destroyed, talking to some of the parents in the Philippines, for them, it's just this huge hopelessness that comes upon them because they don't have any real means to rebuild a home. They don't have any real means to be able to recover. And at the same time, they are going to do whatever they need to do to try to survive.
Bali nagbagyo po, hindi po kami nag-evacuate sa eskwelahan pong ini. Dahil so harong mi po na gaba po. Kaya hindi na po kami naagahan. Bago, siyempre po, pagkatapos ng bagyo, medyo may nakamati kami tigit na kipit. Kaya bilang nagtatrabaho man po ako, yun man po. Hanggang po ngunyan, nag-driver pa po ito. Yun man po ang pigbuhay ko sa mga pamilya, eskwela. Bali, yun ma'am, ini po, bali na ka ng salming na kaya yaon po kami sa laog, dakol kaming mga nag-evacuate sa laog. Bali, mi na lang po ng mga lamisa nga nang day kang maabot kang maray kang hangin. Yun lang. Sabi po, hirap po niya akong eskwelahan. Maski paano, hindi mo po nag-i-reskwela mga aki ko. Medyo suspindi sa ibang klase, na pirang aldaw, simana. Nagigibo man sindang paraan nga ning makaturo sindang mga teacher.
Ang sa kuya pong estudyante, di yun na. Makuha po ko na lang ang grade 3 and grade 5. Medyo pero she feels sad that time. Kasi sabi nila, paano na kami mama, wala nang school kami. Lagi na lang kami, ang dadaanan namin, lagi na lang maputik. Tapos niya, mag-aayos pa kami ng school namin kasi talagang sira.
We've seen that people will actually, in these communities, have a stronger tie to each other because they depend upon each other on surviving. So they'll actually come together as a community and help each other out.
Kumbaga sa ma'am, siyempre pasalamat kami sa mahal na Diyos na dawa na naraw si Harungmi, mayo mo na aksidente sa muyang tao. Na mga aki ko, siptiman. Salamat po ako sa mahal na Diyos na tinawan man kaming maray na nakasipti kami, nga hindi kami tamaan.
Tatayo ng mga parents yung building, pero talagang hindi conducive sa learning. At yung ating mga guro, dahil nga nangyayari ganoon, parang nawawalan ng gana magturo kasi yung lugar, yung hindi sila komportable, hindi conducive sa learning.
Education, we believe, is a basic human right. And so the thing that we're finding, especially with schools, is children in these remote rural areas or children who are living in poverty, they don't have the same access to education as a lot of other people do. And so when we went to the Philippines and we saw the state of the school and the lack of infrastructure after the typhoons that just came in and just devastated this school, we knew there was an opportunity there to do something, to be able to rebuild and restore that school and to be able to help those students.
When we went down there, I noticed that everything was definitely in disrepair. And one other thing I noticed is all of the employees that were with us from the Happy Pili Tree Farm, of their willingness to actually do something.
Our program's management team, led by Jonathan Lee, as he continued to go out, we continued to see there's more to the story here than what we can just visibly see that needs to be done. One of the things that we saw was that in the Philippines, malnutrition is an issue, especially in the rural areas, where children are not getting adequate nutrition in their diet, and it's leading to stunting and it's leading to other things that can go wrong.
The kids are small for their age. I'm surprised. 10-year-old or 6 years old, they're too small. So I think, oh, there's malnutrition in this place.
They come to school, most of them have not had their breakfast. And if they do, it's just going to be, let's say, a piece of smoked fish and then rice, and that's it. It's their lunch and their breakfast. Classes here start at 7 in the morning and they have to leave their houses at around 5:30. Most of them live like kilometers away from the school. If you notice, none of the children wear shoes to school because the pathway that they have are all rice paddies or makeshift roads. So when they get to the school, they get all muddy. They would say that our skirts, our shorts are all covered in mud.
These children would just be starving when they come to school, and they'll be starving when they left. For us, in establishing the school in Ecuador, the one thing that we did there is we have school lunch. Every child gets fed. And so just kind of taking that comparison, what's happening in Ecuador with our academy there and what's happening at this school in the Philippines, we said we need to do something about the lunch situation here.
We will try to organize things. What are we going to do first? What exactly are we going to do to help the children? The material needs the school would want to receive from the Young Living Foundation. So January 2019, we tried to outline what are the things that's going to be done for the school. Now, it has been decided that 2 new classrooms will be provided, and then all the 6 classrooms will be repaired, and also there should be a farm. We started with a project in January, and over 10 months, we were able to do a lot of works for the school. We were able to build 2 new classrooms. We wanted to aid the school's feeding program. Last year, before we came in, they're only able to feed 34 kids. Their population is 160, and so together with Young Living, we were able to plant more than 20 crops in here.
The underlying problem for the school was stunting and malnutrition. We saw that they had land, they had some property, they had some garden that was doing cassava, which is a plant that does not provide enough nutrition. It's really just a belly filler. And we developed a plan to have a subsistence garden. And it went even further than that. They need more protein. Well, what's something that can provide more protein on a consistent basis? Ducks. They lay eggs often. So we said we're gonna add a duck house there.
Yung duck raising is important to our pupils kasi nakakatulong siya nagbibigay ng nutrients gaya ng protein. kailangan ng mga bata, yan sa body ng mga bata, mag-improve. So, gaya nga natin nasabi, marami na rin tayong itlog na harvest. So, nakakatulong yun talaga, aside from the vegetable.
We were working with Yana. We're trying to say, well, what's a good source of protein? What's a regular part of their diet that everybody would be okay to eat? And she said tilapia. I was like, well, let's just put in a pond. How much would that be? And it wasn't that much more to stock it and to build it. And so we added that onto the budget to make sure that that happened.
We noticed that there is only one water source for the school, and it's a manual water pump. This is where the children and the teachers get their drinking water. That's also their source of water for watering the plants and for use to their bathrooms. So we decided that we should include in the project an electric water pump so that it's easier for the kids. You don't have to fetch water anymore.
On October 22nd, we had the ribbon cutting at the school. And it was amazing because we had all the students of the school there. We had all the parents as well. And we also had people in the local community come to it. A TV station came to film it, and it was a big moment for this community.
Ako po si Violeta Manaog, asawa ni Tolentino Manaog. Ano nitong eskwelahan, sabi ko pa ang pangalan ng tatay niya. Sabi ko sa asawa ko, katunayan, yung asawa ko hindi na nakakadakad. Asikaso na talaga. Saka hindi na siya nakakakita. Kaya sabi ko, kung siya nakakakita, maski na pilay, siya nakakakita lang, matutuwa siya. Dahil laki ng pinagbago, yung naitulong niya, talagang nakatulong sa mga tao. Hindi na yung mga bata, ganun. Hindi lang sa mga bata, ito yung mga susunod pa,
Nagpagbabago na nagawa ng Young Living sa amin. Mula ng pagpasok nila sa ating paaralan ay marami na. Sa tulong nilang pagbibigay ng mga iba't ibang infrastructure sa atin, gaya nitong school building, napakalaking bagay na po ito sa Department of Education. Lalong-lalo na sa ating mga bata na nangangailangan ng mga magagandang paaralan. At ito'y malaking maitutulong sa atin, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga guro na naghahangad ng magandang edukasyon para sa ating mga bata.
There is this hope that has returned to that school. There's a sense of excitement. There's a sense of pride in the school that has returned. And to talk to the parents there, you can tell how grateful they are.
Sabi ko, salamat po dahil bukod sa dating eskwelahan digdi, may nagtabang pong ibang mga hali pong ibang bansa, araw po kayang ka.
Nakita ko ang malaking pagbabago dito sa amin kasi nakita namin yung maganda ng paaralan namin. At isa pa, yung mayroon namang nagpapasalamat nga kami dahil mayroong nandito ang Young Living Foundation kasi isa sila sa na tumulong sa paaralang ito na para gumanda. Nagkaroon kami ng 2 classroom na maganda at naging improvement namin sa mga gardening, marami. At yung mga bata naman, naging desidido sila kasi maganda yung paaralan nila. Tapos lagi nilang nakikita, ngayon mama maganda na ang paaralan namin.
Let's empower the kids. Let's support the kids because we all know that in the future, these kids are the ones who's gonna help the world. And these kids are the ones who's also gonna support the dreams of the next generation.
Before they just, get resigned to everything. That's the faith. But now they're looking for something bigger. They have dreams. That's what we like the kids to feel.
The children created these amazing thank you and gratitude cards that they made, and they would hand that to us during the ribbon cutting.
Sa paggawa ng thank you cards ng mga bata, sila ay natutuwa. Sa pamamagitan ng paggawa ng thank you card, na-express nila ang kanilang feelings. Kasi nakita nila yung pagdamay ng ibang tao sa amin. So wala silang pwedeng ibigay, kundi isulat na lang nila sa thank you card. Totoo, nandoon nakasulat na maraming salamat sa Young Living. Kung wala kayo, wala kami ganitong magandang paaralan.
For me, it was like the most emotional moment to have this beautiful small child come up to me and hand me a thank you card on behalf of the foundation. And it was just so touching how grateful they were.
It touched me.
Rosalina was where it all began, and she's the one that helped us make the connections, and she's the one that helped us to be able to know the background of the parents and of the students and what has happened there at the school. And without that information and knowledge, we as the foundation wouldn't have been able to know how we could come in and help and how we could come in and support.
You know, it was kind of like, I don't know if all Filipino people are like this, but you give them something and they're gonna run with it and it's gonna be amazing.